Go back to the beginning, back 13.8 billion years to the primordial silence at the foundation of existence. You are there for the primal flaring forth, as our universe flashes into existence in an eruption of unimaginable power. All time and space, matter and antimatter, hurl into being in that first instance, on fire with the energy of the eternal matrix of being. From the quantum foam, our universe unfolds. It expands and cools rapidly. Energy organizes itself into fundamental particles, new beings with new powers, and they in turn transform into atoms of hydrogen and helium, new beings with new powers, and so on it goes. "400 million years later, you are there as the universe first grows its galactic organs. The universe has continued to expand and cool, and now hydrogen and helium coalesce into billions of enormous structures, galaxies, vast nurseries for the billions of stars they raise. "12 billion years ago, do you remember the first emergence of water? Clouds of interstellar vapor in the icy deep? $10.5 billion years ago, you are there, grandmother star. She gives a titanic shudder and flashes out as a supernova, giving up her life in an explosion of possibilities. From her radiant womb, she seeds iron, selenium, lithium, and boron out into the universe. $4.5 billion years ago, our solar system forms. Remember the great gathering of matter around our star, the formation of the planets of our solar system family? Here begins the story of what will become one blue and white pearl of a planet, suspended in an infinite night. $4 billion years ago, after 100 million years of heat and churning, the earth begins to cool, the miracle of rain is born, and lightning seeds the ocean beds. Do you remember the birth of the first cell? Do you remember emerging as that primal being out of the heaving sea? $3.9 billion years ago, you invent photosynthesis. You learn to harness light, to reach out your beta-carotene glove, capture the sun, and store energy in chemical bonds. Eventually you are born as the great multicellular creatures of the sea, coral and mollusks and giant jellyfish, billions of fish that flash and dart in the deep. Millions of years pass, and as an amphibian you take the first steps out of the oceans and onto dry land. Do you remember setting your foot on the shore and tilting your head to blink up at the sun? In time, plants spread across the land, and creatures so numerous and varied we cannot begin to hold them all in mind. Life explodes with uncontainable creativity, species flowering and vanishing multiple times across consecutive mass extinction events that rock the world. Do you remember being the first moss clinging to the ancient trees? The first tetrapods, the first katydids, the first dinosaurs and reptiles. Do you remember being the ancient mammoth lumbering across the great ice plains? Do you recall soaring as the first eagle, stalking the jungle as a jaguar, burrowing in the dirt in vast ant kingdoms, or leaping playfully as a lemur or a monkey in the trees? $2.8 million years ago, the first humans appear, Homo habilis, Homo erectus. Do you remember crafting the first stone tools? $450,000 years ago, Neanderthals spread across present-day Europe. Do you remember sparking and mastering fire for the first time? $300,000 years ago, modern humans emerge. Language, shamanic and goddess religions, and art become integral with human life. A mere 11,000 years ago, agriculture is invented. Do you remember being an African woman, an Asian man, a Caucasian woman, a Native American, a Bedouin in the desert? Starting 3,000 years ago, classical religions emerge. Hinduism, Zoroastrianism, Judaism, Buddhism, Confucianism and Taoism, Christianity and Islam. We build temples, mosques, gurdwaras and churches. We make sacrifices and give ourselves over to higher power. From villages we move into cities. We gather our resources and develop our knowledge. We erect palaces and cathedrals and political buildings. We develop innovative energy and communication technologies that change the face of the world forever. Do you remember? And now you are born into this life, in this time, with all the promise and peril that confronts us. Do you recall? What has called you here? What is the sacred purpose for which you have come into this world?